You ready, Jake?
I think everybody's ready. Good morning. It still is morning. On behalf of TAA, I'd like to give a special thanks out again to our 2020 conference sponsors, ADEQ, of course, with us now, Auto Safety House, Brawnability, Canyon State Bus Sales, Cummins Engines, REI, and the RWC Group, and of course, the Trust, who has helped us a lot this week. Their support for this year's virtual platform has allowed us to stand by our commitment to present student transportation information and relevant content to all of our members, as we have seen the past 2 days. So again, we are truly thankful for our sponsorship for this virtual conference. With that, introductions, I believe. Tom Pollard?
Yes, sir.
Auto Safety House. Jeremy? Is he?
He's going to slide in.
Oh, okay, he's going to slide in. On behalf of TAA, we welcome Auto Safety House for some industry updates and or whatever else update towards or for Ash that you feel adequate to this group today. It looks like you've got a pretty good following right now, sir. So I'm going to turn the time over to you. Okay, Tom?
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. At Auto Safety House here, I don't think that well, let me back up. Jeremy's going to come in and talk to you about a lot of different things when it comes to school buses in particular. At the beginning, what I'd like to talk about is Auto Safety House and what we can offer you other than school buses. I think a lot of times people look at us as just a Thomas dealer. We're more than that here at Auto Safety House. We can provide you service, so can Canyon State and so can RWC. What makes us different though, we can also take care of your white fleet, build your trucks, take care of your trucks, and do a lot of modifications on your service trucks for your departments. Those are items that I believe we do that, and we do that very, very well. We service SRP, we service APS, we do Carvana. There's a lot of vehicle companies out there that we service when it comes to that. And if you ever have any questions, you can always just call me at the office or on my cell number, and be more than happy to help you and guide you through the process. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about. The next thing I wanted to talk about is Cummins Engines. I know that, Mike, if I remember correctly, you mentioned a few minutes ago that Cummins was a sponsor.
Correct.
And did they put on a class? Because I did not check.
We will be this afternoon meeting with Cummins for a update and presentation at 1:30.
Okay, good. So I'll be able to watch that. I'd like to take a few minutes now and talk about the quote process. I think sometimes that, and I believe Tom, I know I see him online, he'll believe in this. When you call a dealership, whether it be Thomas, Bluebird, or International, and request a bus quote, I think one of the problems we run into is that as salesmen, we don't ask you the proper questions. You ask us for a bus quote. I'm going to use Mike as a perfect example here, because I've been dealing with Mike for a lot of years, and he hasn't bought a thing from me. And I think one of the reasons is he doesn't like me that much. That's the first. Sorry, Mike. But when you call and ask for a bus quote, you call Tom and I and you say, hey, send me a quote on a bus. What are you looking for? What are your needs? Sometimes I think that we forget that a bus that's going to go to Roosevelt School District in the city of Phoenix and never leave the city is not the same as a bus that's going to go to Kayenta and run all of those miles and those hills. So I think that we don't give you enough information and or we don't school you well enough so you know what to ask us. So what I'd like to do is, we've changed our quote system at Auto Safety House. We've made it easier to read and understand, and we've made it easier in the process. But at the same token, you have to ask us questions. Everybody wants AC in their buses. The difference is, do you want the Cadillac or do you want the Buick? Or do you want the Volkswagen? It depends on where you are in the valley and what you're doing with the bus. And please just remember to always ask more questions than you think. And there, you know, that old saying that there's not a stupid question. When it comes to ordering buses, there really, really isn't. Gear ratio is something that nobody has ever asked me about until I got up north and started dealing with mountains and freeways. In the valley, gear ratio, no, I see Armando's on there. I don't think Armando, did he ever think about it? I don't know. Very, very important. Transmission, important. AC is just a factor, not the factor. size engine, fuel economy. These are issues that should come up every discussion, and you know what? They don't. Now, is that the salesman's fault? I don't know. I think a lot of it is just natural. We just call Tom Pollard and say, Tom, send me a quote on a school bus. And then I think, well, I sell it for 115,000 because I know Tom Hartman's going to do 118,000 because that's what he always does on that style bus. That's not necessarily the way we should be working, is it? It's not. So if you ever have any questions, and I know the three of us in this session right now will all agree on one thing. Please ask us more questions than you think is necessary. Your salesmen, you know, they're out there, they're trying to remember everything, but they may forget. And something as simple as a gear ratio that many people don't even think about, that's a big deal depending on where you're at in the state of Arizona. If you have any questions, feel free to call me. Everybody's got my phone number. Jason, don't call me certain names. That's just impolite. Michael, you too. But I'm going to turn it over to Jeremy. Does anybody have any questions? Well, since we don't have any questions right now, I'm going to turn it over to Jeremy, and Jeremy's going to talk to you about a few different things. And then at the very end, if there are already questions, whether about quotes, Detroit engines, what services we offer here at Auto Safety House, I'll be more than happy to answer for you. Jeremy?
Hey everybody, I'm not sure who joined in yesterday when our Thomas rep for the region, Steve Johnson, was on yesterday about the disinfecting of the school buses. I'm not sure how many of you caught that. If you'd like, I could play a video. I think it's like a minute and a half. We could show that. There's plenty of ideas out there. It's like a fogging gun, basically what it does. It's electrostatic. It gives a positive charge to whatever the chemicals are in there, and they wrap around the school bus seats. They attach to everything with a negative charge. I know a few different school districts right now have these guns on hand, and from what I gather, they're able to disinfect a school bus in less than 5 minutes. And once that's done, students can go ahead and take off and get back on the bus. So yeah, there's that Protexus handheld electrostatic sprayer. There's several different models and brands out there. I think Delta Airlines is using this specific model. They're able to disinfect their airplanes relatively quickly. And so not to delay the process. And we could use the same setup with the school buses. So if you'd like, we can go ahead and show that video. I think I got it up. I don't know how to share the screen. Let's see here.
I don't know if it's a thing Jason has to do.
Right here.
No, you guys should be able to share your screen. At the bottom, if you have the window up down at the bottom of your screen, says share screen, you click that and then click the video that you're trying to share.
Hi everyone.
So you guys seeing that or no?
Airport customer service cargo team, and I'm here with Azim Mystery, our director of airport operations.
You see the green button down at the bottom of your screen?
Yeah, I see it.
Are working around the clock to keep our people and our customers safe from COVID-19, which you probably know is the coronavirus. On top of our normal cleaning procedures, we're taking extra steps to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. Azim, tell us a little bit about the procedures that we're using now.
Sure, thanks, Eric. Our teams are performing a fogging procedure using a high-grade disinfectant to disinfect the surfaces that we all touch inside the aircraft. The cleaning disinfectant is sprayed into the aircraft with fogging machine. The disinfectant sticks to surfaces as soon as it's applied.
Azim, how effective is the disinfectant that we're using?
Eric, it's highly effective against many communicable diseases, including coronaviruses. This same disinfectant is used in restaurants and hospitals across the country and is immediately safe for employees and our customers after application.
Azim, when did we start the fogging processes that we're using now?
Eric, we started fogging our Asia Pacific arrivals earlier in February, and since then have been expanding.
And after the aircraft is inspected, the entire aircraft is cleaned with cleaning crews coming through the cabin and doing a thorough cleaning of all the cabin surfaces, including the tray tables, the seat back screens, the consoles, and even the crew rest areas. The common areas are also clean, like the lavatories and galleys, using the same high-grade disinfectant we use to fog the aircraft. Azim, thanks for this information. Thanks for everything that you and the entire team are doing to help keep our customers and our employees safe and healthy.
All right, now how to get back off of that?
You just down at the bottom, go to stop share.
Oh, let's see here.
Where'd that go? Oh, there it is.
Or maybe it's at the top, stop share.
It says new share, stop video.
Oh. Go to the top of your screen. It should say stop share.
Got it.
There you go.
Okay, so that's something to discuss. We are currently right now looking for a source. I know a lot of them are back ordered right now. There's such a high demand. The suppliers are having a hard time getting their hands on them to supply specifically the school districts. So right now we're looking at them, trying to get our hands on them to help you guys out any way we can. Once those come available, I will be sending out emails or touching base with every one of you out there. Now, as far as presentation for us, what's new? Kind of new for us. It's been out for a couple years now, is the Detroit engines, the DD5 specifically, and the C2s, and the DD8 inside of the HDXs. I will share a PowerPoint with you guys with this one. It is the Detroit line is a wonderful line. I know everybody's liking the Cummins. Let's see here. But there's just something else to offer with our school buses. So the DD5 specifications, these are available in our C2s right now. Everybody can see that screen, right?
Yep, correct.
Okay, so we got 200, 220, 240 horsepower. With the 240 horse, we're still putting out the same amount of torque as we would the Cummins with the 260. Different thing about this, it's only 4 cylinders, not the 6. So you're going to have some fuel economy, and I'll show you that here in the next slide or two. This engine is a little bit lighter than the 6.7, which then in turns helps and aids with the better fuel economy down the road. One thing that stands out with the DD5 is the service intervals, engine and oil filter changes, the fuel filters. School buses are basically considered severe duty. With that, you're at 35,000 miles or once a year on your services for the DD5. Pretty outstanding. I think Cummins right now is at 15,000 miles. I know a lot of school districts are changing around 7,000 or 8,000 miles just because if they're on dirt roads, they're picking up dust, they want to keep those filters and fluids as clean as they can. You could always change them more often, but you're not going to avoid any warranties. Warranties at 35,000 miles on the DD5. DD8 specifications, you know, it goes from 260 to 300 horsepower. We're still giving the same amount of torque out of those 3 engines. This engine is a little bit heavier, not much. I think it's 80 pounds heavier than the L9, but you're still getting the same amount of horsepower and torque, but you're getting that at a low RPM. So you're going to be getting a lot more get up and go from the bus stops, stoplights, merging on to interstates, highways, and you'll still get the same amount of torque range with the DD8. The service intervals for the DD8, you know, your severe duty, again, with the school buses, with the DD8, you're looking at 45,000 miles once every 12 months. There's lots of savings. You know, all dealerships, we're coming out with ways to save as much money as we can for all the districts. Any way we can do it, we like to share that with you. And one of the ways to do it is servicing once a year. You know, you knock 1 or 2 out of the services annually, money starts adding up after that. The DD8 and the DD5 both come with that variable cam phasing, and what this does is it improves the regeneration process. It kicks that cam over a little bit, allows a little bit more hotter exhaust to come through, and helps out and aids the after treatment system. It keeps the hot airs going, nearly eliminates the particulate filter from getting plugged up on you guys. Fuel economy testing, this is huge. Since that DD5 is a 4-cylinder, we're getting about 7% fuel economy improvement, and up to 10% on the DD8. We have had our buses come in from the factory, just doing some easy math that the drivers do for us. They're getting, from North Carolina to here, they're getting about 12 miles a gallon straight across the interstate, which is pretty incredible. Of course, when you load up the bus with students and stuff, it's going to drop. You'll probably be seeing around 10, I would imagine. Stop and go is going to be have a big effect on the fuel consumption as well. On the DD8, I was cruising that around last summer. I personally kept track of the fuel economy on that. We were at a little over 9. I think it was 9.8, pushing 10 miles a gallon on that DD8 and our HDX. So of course the DD5 is available in our C2s. The DD8 is only available in our HDX. We do not have a Detroit engine for our front engine transit yet. More on that to come later down the road, I'd imagine. So here's some performance data for you. Your torque on the 6.7, you're still getting 660, but that's at 1600 RPM. You got to get going a little bit for that, for you to actually feel that. With the Detroit, you're filling that at a low RPM. In turn, you're getting better fuel mileage down the road with that. Another good thing about the Detroit, when you get and spec a bus with a Detroit engine, you'll get the virtual technician. What it does, there's 3 fault types. There's a service info, the service soon, and service now. What that does is it links to the Detroit Connect cloud, and it'll ping a computer of the transportation supervisor, director, whoever needs to be informed, then relays information to our Detroit support center, then gets in contact with us, the dealer, and we can be in contact with you if we can help out anyway. The virtual technician, like I said, it comes standard with the DD5 and DD8. It's free for the first 5 years. Links you to some of the support services at Detroit, and it's all real time. And you'll see that on the next slide after this one. Like I said, there's 3 fault types. You'll get a basic service info, no action required, the service soon. It's not urgent. You just need to check it when it comes back to the yard. And then you got service now, which requires immediate action. Get the bus over, get a hold of the TD, get a hold of us. Purpose of the portal, you'll get access to vehicle data. It creates a hub for future services. So as soon as you get a bus and you register that bus online with the portal, every service that bus has, anything that's done with that bus, then becomes real time and live. There's also a mobile app for your techs if needed. If it happens to be after hours, they're on a trip somewhere, sports, the tech will be notified as well. So just a basic home screen. You'll see you have a vehicle list. It'll show you a GPS, exactly where that bus is at, location. Comes in handy if you happen to be between mileposts at all. Something happens, you're not sure exactly where you're at, can't give a good enough description. It'll bring up a GPS and ping where that bus is located at that current time. For the fault on the left-hand side, it says ambient air temperature. Signal's missing. There's no engine power limited. Can you finish your daily route? Yeah, you sure can. There's no speed limitations. And then it says just defective ambient air temperature. don't need to stop the truck. Just get in touch with your tech, get in touch with us. It'll give you some service notes on the side that you don't need to stop the vehicle. You finish your route, and a detailed info on how to diagnose and repair whatever needs to be done. It'll also give you a link to the closest dealers, certified service centers closest to that bus. Whether you're out of state, out of town, it'll let you know where you can go to get that bus fixed and immediately and have less downtime. So summary for Detroit Connect is, it says issue discovered causing downtime analysis provided by the experts at Detroit. You'll get money saved by servicing vehicles only when needed. You'll get your improved cost of ownership. And that's standard on all the Thomas built buses spec'd with the Detroit DD5 and DD8. Right. So there's my information. I got one little video. I think it's kind of funny. I'm going to play that right now, see if this works.
Going off-road.
Let's get rid of that one.
Okay, kids, time to learn the rules.
You guys seeing this?
Most accidents happen outside of the bus. Each side look both ways before crossing the street. Oh yeah, I got another important rule. The students are not allowed to drive. Always cross the street in front of the bus. It's my turn. No jumping on the ceiling. Did you mean no jumping on the seats? No. I don't think the kids can jump on the ceiling. That's why it's a rule. No chewing on the bus. Chewing? Use your quiet voice. Can we sing the Wheels on the bus? Sure, you can sing songs. The Wheels on the bus. There's no singing on the bus. Well, actually, it's okay. On the bus. Round and round. All people can quiet. Back to what I was saying. Always stay 10 steps from the moving bus so the bus driver can see. If you get car sick and you feel like you're going to throw up, then throw up on that kid. Why me? Because you're sick, remember? You already feel sick anyway. Can I take my goldfish on the bus? Any pets are not allowed to go on the bus. Only horses can go on the bus. No, that's not really a rule. What are you laughing at? No laughing on the bus. Okay, no more rules. It's time to go. Teacher, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. For more school bus safety tips, go to thomasbus.com/safety.
Is that from
Is
Thatcher?
that good?
Is that the Thatcher School District, mine?
The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round.
All right, let's see here. All right. So, let me bring up my PowerPoint one more time, put my information on there. Let's see who's all here. I'm going to ask that whoever is here, shoot me an email, your name, number, to my email right there. So we got a list of who attended this session with us. And then we're going to play a little game. I think everybody's got cell phones right now. My number's on there, 928-200-5430. I got a little bit of a goodie bag. It's a vinyl storage bag with Thomas's logo on it. I got a water canteen from REI. Thanks, Craig. Of course, I got a stress bus for us all. We all need it right about now, I think. We got some Thomas logoed golf balls. We got a coaster. These coasters are pretty cool. It's a Thomas coaster. They light up. It's got a little handy dandy bottle opener for all your root beers out there. Lights up. It's pretty neat. As soon as you put something on it, it lights up. You can see it at night. Got 2 of those. I got a Thomas pin as well in here. So tell you what, I will take whoever's going to call me. I'll take, let's see, I've been here, 5th caller?
5th caller.
5th caller. So whoever calls me the 5th caller will get this goodie bag full of stuff. So my number's on the screen, 928. So first caller, let's see who it is. This is Jeremy.
Who you got?
I don't know. Who's this? Can't hear nothing. So
Mike, you're not allowed to
that
call.
must have been Jason.
Wasn't me.
Oh,
I thought you were gonna. I thought you wanted us to text you.
nope. Gotta call me. Gotta call me.
What do you want me to call you?
I know what you're going to call me, but be nice to him too. Hey, Mike.
Yes, sir.
I thought you did your school district did a really nice job on that video.
Hey, you're calling number 2. See who's gonna be number 3.
I love that you're hanging up on them like a radio disc
Yeah, it's
jockey.
radio. All right, number 2. Gotta get this over and done with.
Who's that?
My phone is messing up, guys.
Okay, this is not good. This is a bad time for that thing to go south.
We just asked 85 people to call you all at once.
I know. There's 85 people on here. Man, my
85.
email's gonna be loaded here in a minute.
Oh, that's a human number.
Says,
This
yeah,
must
your
be
phone
John,
is
huh?
not accepting calls.
Oh. Your number 3. Okay. Oh, looky here. Mike Smith, how are you doing, sir? Mike.
You're number
Is he
4, Michael.
Mike? Hello. Let's see here. Hello. It's Mike.
Hang on, Mike.
Mike Smith in the comments, answer your phone.
I'm answering it. It's on.
He's pushed it 15 times. It won't go on. There's the winner right there.
All right.
Who do you got?
This is Jeremy. Who's this? Why is it not working? Can't hear nobody.
Okay, hold on. Let's get the number. It's a 928
So
number.
928-377-2409. Who is that?
2409.
Let's see who.
Oh.
They can send me a text.
It's got to be up north or Yuma.
Have Pollard call him back.
Pollard's not allowed to touch a cell phone or a calculator. But I'll go get my phone.
It looks like that's Tiffany's number, Tiffany Mitchell.
Is that who it is? Where's she from, Jason?
Looks like.
I think she's up in Kingman with Nancy.
Okay, everybody stop calling. We got the fifth caller.
Hartman, I didn't see you calling. Don't you want any of this stuff for your office?
So Jeremy and Tom, we have a couple questions
Yes.
that popped up
Okay. go ahead.
regarding your presentation from Nancy Giese. How well does it pull? I assume she's talking about the DD5 or the DD8. The Long Mountains with, say, a football team with equipment.
Oh, they pull great. So the DD5, of course, you're going to have the same amount of torque. So torque's what moves the bus. We all know that. Even though you're only getting 240 horsepower, you're still getting the same amount of torque. So you're going to have no problems in that with that DD5. DD8, same thing. you're getting just as much torque, just as much horsepower, lower RPM, better fuel economy, no problems going up and down the hill. We've taken these buses up and down the rim. We've taken them from here to Flagstaff, driven them all over northern Arizona, up and down the mountains. Came through Salt River Canyon with one. That's probably one of the funnest drives I've been on in the DD8. So there's no issues with the Detroits.
Cool. Next question. Regarding the foggers, how many buses can be sprayed before having to be refilled?
I don't know. I can reach out to a couple of districts that have those foggers. They're little capsules that go inside. I believe you mix it with some water, but I can get some details onto that. I'm not sure how many buses, but I'm sure you can do quite a few off of one fill, I'd imagine.
I was out at Tolleson Elementary talking to Dave a couple weeks ago. They don't have the portable one. They've actually have one that's got the hose. It's not a handheld unit. So if anybody wanted to reach out to him, and they've had their unit for several years now. He mentioned it to me. He's the first one I know that actually has one on property.
Cool. And I know that from what I've heard, that there's a lot of been back order. Trace is chiming in. We got about 6 or 7 buses between Phil and the Protexas.
Yes.
Yeah, and he was the one that was saying that they can get a bus done in about 3 minutes, is what I believe he said.
Yeah.
So that's pretty incredible. You know, you be able to get in and off of a bus, disinfect them in a timely fashion.
Trace, if you want to unmute and talk to that a little bit with this group, that would be great. I don't know that he wants to.
Wow, Trey's not going to say anything? That's pretty hard to believe. He's used
There he is.
He's used to talking all the time and teaching.
Oh, he's on the phone. Oh, let me see if I don't know which number he's calling in with though. Let's see if I can find. I bet it's this one. Tracy, you there?
Hey, yeah, I'm there now. Thank you. I thought I was doing something wrong. Now I forgot the question. But the 3 months per bus is about right. I did 6 or 7 buses between the fill-up on it, and they work pretty slick.
I assume you guys ordered those fairly early on, and would also assume that they're probably fairly hard to get a hold of now.
Yeah, they're on back order. The ones that I was using belong to our operations center that they do the cafeterias and big areas with. So I just borrowed them for the test. I still haven't gotten mine yet, but we ordered 10 of them, but they're, I'm hoping to get them before school.
Got it. All right. Any other questions from anybody? Doesn't look like it.
Cool.
Oh, we can leave the room open for another few minutes. Or
Yes.
What's the cost on the Protexas, Trace?
We paid $750, I think it was.
And that doesn't come with cleaning solution, right?
No, that's just the gun. And I think the cleaning solution we are using is a QT3 from Hilliard, is the ones that we're using.
Got it. And for those that, I'm going to stop sharing your screen there for a minute, Jeremy, I think. Yes. I'm going to pull up the TAA page again. Just for those that have not seen this yet, we have this COVID-19 resources page that we've been building out. There's a district response survey for those that want to fill it out about what you're doing with your district, as well as districts that have already responded. There's a bunch of information from people that have been putting their information in here, and can be updated or just come back in. But there's a lot of information that'll be helpful for those people that are wanting to find out a little bit more about maybe how their neighbors are responding, as well as every Friday in June so far, we've been hosting kind of a leader session like this that gets recorded. So these have already been posted to our YouTube channel. Resources page. Earlier, you guys were asking about the Department of Public Safety sneeze guard email that came out. This is already linked here. So if you didn't get that email, you can see that here. And then a list of supply links down here at the bottom about just some supplies that people have already got their hands on or are planning to use. For those that have found something that they would like to add to this, you can go ahead and certainly email us and we'll be sure to add it to the supply link section.
Jason and Trace, there's another question there about CARES Act grant on the chat. Did you see that?
Yeah, it looks like Armando says if your district is going to use a CARES grant, you might be able to use that to pay for them. Where he's at, they have 14 of them on order from WACU for their district to use in schools and the buses. So it sounds like a lot of them are going to be sharing the equipment from site to site. And Armando, if you want to unmute and you want to talk a little bit about that, you certainly go for it.
We received, hold on, let me turn the other one off. Have the mechanics watching on the big screen. We received, the district is telling us that we're eligible for about $4 million of CARES grant money. And so we're taking everything that we're going to be using for PPEs and cleaning equipment and all that and putting that into the CARES Act grant. So we've already ordered from WACSI some 14 units that we're going to put in each of our schools and have a couple for the transportation center, which we already have one that we've been using for 3 years now. And it seems to be working pretty good. So the CARES Act money, hopefully your districts are taking advantage of that and you're writing the grants for it, because that's some good money you can use to get all this protective stuff that you need. Same thing with plexiglass or whatever you're going to do if you need to close off your offices or, you know, whatever. So it's a good deal.
Thank you. Yeah, and definitely with the CARES Act, if you're not familiar with it, get with your business manager, your superintendents, your district people, and find out what your parameters are on that. There's I think just an easy way to say it, there's a wide spectrum of what the CARES Act can cover in the transportation field for all of you that are interested in transportation. So definitely look into that.
Any other questions from anybody?
I'm not seeing anything. Give it a minute here and take another minute to thank Tom and Jeremy from ASH Auto Safety House for their presentation and updates, for joining us, helping make this virtual conference work.
It was fun, different.
It's a little different, it's a little hard to get used to sometimes.
In good TAA fashion, I did stay up to 2 o'clock last night.
Nice.
just in preparation for this.
All right.
We don't want to break, you know, we got that thing going every couple, you know, how many months we have to do this, so.
I guess we could have had some TAA hospitality Zoom rooms, you know,
Yeah.
socially met.
So you're gonna have to put the computers on the floor then, so everybody will be at a level playing field.
If this continues, we may have to look into extending the Zoom platform into the entertainment side. Somehow we'll have to figure out how to do a virtual cornhole tournament, of course, and a Pinewood Derby. But we definitely want to try to keep TAA moving forward with all of the things that you enjoy and learn from TAA. So glad, Jeremy, glad you had a good evening.
Oh, yes.
The difference here, though, this is being recorded.
True.
What happens in Flagstaff stays in Flagstaff.
Nice.
All right. Well, I don't see any other questions, so we can go ahead and wrap it up. Next session will start at, I believe, 10:15 with Canyon State bus sales. Sorry, 11:15
Correct, 11:15. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
Take care,
Thank
everybody.
you. Take care.
Everybody be
Thank you.
safe.